Back in March, a brand new series hit the circuits of Great Britain. Thundersport GB started in Mallory Park 7 months ago. Now we're back in the East Midlands, Derbyshire to be precise. Thundersport GB has come to Donington Park. Unless you've been living on another planet for the past year, you'll probably know that Donington Park will be the new home of the Grand Prix 70 years after it was closed because of World War II. Casey Stoner, an inspiration for so many of the riders here today, obviously loves Donington, having won the MotoGP here for the last 2 years. Ayrton Senna won the only Grand Prix to have been staged here, and the track is also one of the country's most formidable music venues. Ozzy Osbourne and Iron Maiden both having rocked out here. Today, there are titles to be decided, championships to be won, and plenty of racing to be seen. This is the final round of Thundersport GB. As ever, Steve's here to talk us through a lap of this formidable circuit.
Yes, this one is a bit of a rider's favourite. And the first corner of the circuit is Redgate. It can get a bit tight around there on the first lap. It's all about getting the power on as early as you dare, so you have the drive going into Hollywood, and then into the famous Craner curves. Then hard on the brakes into the old hairpin before winding the throttle on again as you surge under Starkey's Bridge, bearing left and up to McLean's Corner. Then a short stretch to Coppice, a blind corner. They'll find themselves tipping in and then onto the power once more as they head down the long back straight. We're on the national circuit, so no braking for the S's. Instead, hang on to the throttle that little bit more and then it's on the brakes, flipping right and then left at Goddard's and back onto the start-finish straight. Well, here we are for the Junior Powerbike and Street Fighter races, and Jamie Wilkins, the Fast Bikes magazine rider, is on that Aprilia. The ones to watch out for, though, today, there are 3 championships still up for grabs. It's Clint De T versus Tony Coombs in Junior Powerbikes, Steve Joy versus Steve Hodgson in Street Fighter A, and Sam Reed versus John Hardwick in Street Fighter B. So over to you, Robin.
Thanks, Steve. Well, there we see young Danny Buchan. Yep, you can get your name on his bike. But, yeah, all 3 of these championships still up for grabs at this stage of the season. Jamie Wilkins on pole and a leading Street Fighter A on the grid. Tony Coombs, Steve Palmer, Clinton De T alongside him. They're all fighting it out in Junior Powerbikes. But Steve Joy chasing away. You can see him there getting a good start from the second row of the grid. Keep your eye on that number 71 machine of Steve Joy, because he's got it up for sale. Never raced or rallied, not. But he's had a fantastic season. Still just got a few more points to gain if he's going to end up as Street Fighter A champion of 2008. Sam Reed, of course, leading Street Fighter Bs at the moment, but the real close contest, oh goodness me, walkabout there. That is the Moto 450 of Will Hodgson, and it's, oh goodness me, Will, and he clatters into the tyres, and immediately red flags out and bringing that attempt to run the race to a halt. While the marshals and medics get that sorted out, Steve's grabbed a quick word, I think, with Neil Mackenzie in the pits.
Well, it's not every day we talk to a British champion in our paddocks, but we're here for a different reason. Neil Mackenzie, you're here with your youngest son, Taron.
Yeah, certainly am. We've been following the Super Team Championship closely this year because my youngest son Taron is 12 years old and he's had aspirations to get out there with the guys. So luckily we've managed to find a free weekend, and Thundersport GP have been very kind to let us come to the final round of the championship, and we're having a good time.
And obviously Taylor is doing ever so well at the moment. He's going into the Red Bull Rookies final along with Fraser Rogers, the current Super Team champion. And you're looking to do the season next year with us as well? Very
much so, yeah. Taylor's had a good season in British 125 Championship, and his season looks pretty much planned for next year. If the Red Bull thing works out, that's great. If not, we'll be in the British Championship. But Taz, or Taron, he's really keen to get out there with the youngsters and carry on with the Aprilia. He's not the biggest lad out there at the moment, but he's really keen to do more of this next year, especially after having a good time today.
Well, it's great to have you in the paddock, and hopefully we'll get to have a word with Taz later on next season as well. And thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Oh, thanks to Neil. But there we see Will Hodgson on the Moto 450, just runs wide there. Now he's on the grass. He daren't brake. He's a bit of a passenger. Now it's a question of can he thread his way through the traffic, and, well, there. He did his best to avoid everyone, but unfortunately didn't really scrub off enough speed. Glad to say that he's up and about though, so away for the restart. Tony Coombs, number 23. Tony, if you like, has got a simple job. He's only needs to concentrate on one thing, and that's winning both the races today. Danny Buchan there, we see a pit lane start. So he's right at the back, and yellow flag's already being waved. And, whoa, down in the gravel there. Oh, no, that's Anthony Porter and John Hardwick. John, who was challenging Sam Reed for the Street Fighter B Championship, but that will do his cause no good whatsoever. Up the front, though, there, Tony Coombs, and we can see Clinton De T, number 38, the young South African, who's taken over the lead in this championship halfway through the year and really never looked back. And, well, in order for Tony Coombs to become champion, he not only has to win the two races today, but really he needs Clinton not to score good points. Well, an awful lot of action. And also, Ian, a lot of riders coming into play. It's interesting to see Steve Palmer out there on the little 400, but there's all sorts of riders enjoying themselves at this Thundersport GB round at the end of the season.
Yeah, yellow flag still waving at Redgate. Yeah, a fantastic grid here at Donington for this final Junior Powerbike and Street Fighter race. Look at them all stream through. Further down the order, the Street Fighter B class, the Honda Hornet 600s, the choice of most of the riders. But Ian Popplewell's out there on a Kawasaki 650 Street Fighter and doing quite well in the Street Fighter Bs at the moment. Alex Heaton there chasing one of the Street Fighter A-class runners. And I'll tell you who else is going well here this weekend. Steve Hodgson, I think, is chasing Steve Joy there in picture for that Street Fighter A Championship. And I think Donington has been Steve Hodgson's best showing so far. Really, really quick and close to Steve. Yeah, but at the moment at the front, the most impressive of all so far this weekend, Jamie Wilkins. Well, he may be a flying biro for his profession, but he's flying on that Street Fighter A machine. There he goes. He's got Clinton De T now behind him because he's nicked up ahead of Tony Coombs. Good news for Clinton. There we see Steve Joy chasing hard after Alec Collinson. But look at this, down into Redgate. This is what the battle is about. At the head of Junior Powerbikes, Tony Coombs there, just doing absolutely everything he can. He's latched on the rear wheel of Clinton, but Clinton De T leading the championship on points and leading in this race. Lovely shot there of number 18. That's the Honda of Mark Morley, the father of Craig Morley, who we've seen racing throughout the year in GP1. Yeah, and we saw Mark have a nasty tumble at Pembury, but glad to see he's back out there and mixing it in. But this is the real battle. These are the leading Junior Powerbikes, and Tony Coombs up the inside of Clinton De T into Coppice Corner. Well, as we said, Jamie Wilkins out in front, but the leading Junior Powerbikes scrapping it out for the win and for the title. Yep, fantastic battle between the two of them, and it is Tony that's just heading Clinton at the moment. There's quite a gap between them, actually, in other ways. Clinton De T, I think he's 34 this year, and he's got a lot of experience racing in South Africa. It's just that he's new to the British circuits this year. Tony, I think, is one of our best young prospects. He's still just 19 years old. And he's also, if you like, underpowered in this. It's an 800cc Ducati that Clinton's got. It's just basically, I think, a 650 mini twin that Tony Coombs is riding. So fantastic battle between the two of them, and it's Tony with a slight advantage at the moment. Yeah, the joy of this Junior Powerbike class, such a variety of machinery in there, but all fairly evenly matched on lap times. The Suzuki has a weight advantage over the heavier Ducati, so probably a bit quicker through the twisty bits. The Ducati has more punch down the straights, and the Kawasaki 400s that are out there as well, really even on the. Oh, Clinton's gone down. Oh goodness me! That's absolutely 100% what Clinton De T did not need, and it's 100% what Tony Coombs did. Oh, what a shame for Clinton, and he's getting clear of that, but he looks as though he's bashed himself around a little. But that bike would be, well, I think that'll be in bits. There we see Steve Palmer. You're talking about the Kawasaki 400s. Steve, always a great press-on sort of character. He'll be racing well off the checker flag. He really does push and push and push. And
He'll be absolutely loving this ride. Of course, this whole championship, Junior Powerbikes and Street Fighter A and Street Fighter B, there's so much variety out there, and it's great for the public as well, because just watching the guys on the bikes, you can see by their riding positions, it's a fantastic spectacle with a mix.
Yeah, and it's hard to know what to watch. Now, here's a replay. Clint De T tips into Coppice and, well, maybe just trailed the front brake a little bit longer than normal, tucked the front, and down he went, and, well...
Yep. That was a wicked old drop there. I have to say, the bike slid slightly more than I thought. It may be okay to be out again later. Unfortunately, it's one of those incidents you could get away with just a few scratches, or that bike could be absolutely totaled. But up the front, Tony Coombs, he'll be aware, even though that happened behind him, he'll know full well he's out getting maximum points at the moment. And there's Steve Joy. This should just about be enough if he's first Street Fighter A home to wrap up the 2008 championship for him. And there we see still, yet again, Steve Palmer in third place, as I said, pressing hard right to the last.
Yeah, and up the front there, Jamie Wilkins, leader of the race, leading Street Fighter A on that big Aprilia. We haven't seen much of Jamie because we've been concentrating on the championship battle in the Junior Powerbikes. Oh, and a big off there.
Oh, goodness gracious me, there's Martin Bissell there. He had a Suzuki, he's now got a box of bits. But up the front, with the checker flag looming, a wonderful race from Jamie Wilkins on the Street Fighter A, and he's loving every minute of that. Across the line he goes, takes the win. But just a bit of a pause while we wait for second place. There he is, Tony Coombs. Now then, yes, Tony, look over your shoulder. That is part one of the job done. And there we see once again Martin Bissell. So good to see that Martin separated from that bike. That could have been very unpleasant, Ian. Now, Jamie Wilkins, the win overall from Tony Coombs. Steve Palmer was third, Steve Joy fourth, Alec Collinson fifth, Alex Heaton sixth, Keith Smith was seventh, Rob Garland eighth, Steve Hodgson ninth, Phil Polden in 10th, Danny Buchan from the pit lane start finished 11th, Phil Page was 12th, and one Street Fighter B from Ian Popwell and Mark Morley. So, there we see the Street Fighter A 1, 2, 3. And in the Junior Powerbike class, it was Tony Coombs that took that win. Well, the disappearance of Clinton helping him, but Tony very happy, part one of his job done.
Well done to winner of the Junior Powerbikes, Tony Coombs. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's been a pretty weird year for me with the race and everything, but I just need to got my last weekend here and just got to keep it alive in the championship.
I was going to say it's very close, isn't it now?
Oh yeah, well all he had to do was really sit behind me. You know, I wouldn't be taking these points out of him, but with him coming off, he's taking it down to 19 points now. And
this is Clinton you're talking about,
yeah.
Just so that everybody knows. He's the one that was there bearing down you, disappeared through the race.
Last couple of laps took it a bit easy just to bring it home.
Well, bring it home you did, well done.
Thank you very much, cheers.
Oh, well done, Tony, and it's Street Fighter B. The win went the way of Phil Page from Ian Popwell and Mark Morley.
Winner of the